Hello all, as you may know, we are in the middle of a climate emergency. On top of that, there is an energy crisis due to the war of Ukraine. And it's now more important than ever that we bring all the actors together in making a difference. And cities play a key role in this. That's the reason why we gathered together today a few cities. So without more delay, let's introduce each of them. I'm very glad to welcome Ángel Lopez, Head of Mobility Strategies at City of Barcelona and the Urban Mobility City Club Chair. Ángel, welcome.
Welcome.
Also, Enarsson, Head of Riga City Development Committee in Latvia. Inese, welcome.
Hello.
Mariusz Sagan, PhD and Head of Strategy and Entrepreneurship Department, City of Lublin in Poland. Welcome, Mariusz.
Welcome. Thank you so much for the invitation.
And finally, Enarsson, Project Manager for the Environment and Health Department in the city of Stockholm in Sweden. Welcome.
Thank you.
And now it's the time. I will explain you shortly how we will address this video blog. You will have 90 seconds to reply to each of the questions, okay? Ready? So first question, 90 seconds. How can cities lead innovation in urban mobility for a real impact in our daily lives? Ángel, first one.
Well, cities is really the place where citizens meet to increase the social abilities, to grow economically. And it's clear that in this space, in the cities that are managed by the city council or for the city administration, we can reach what are the needs of citizens, and then we will answer to these needs in the particular in mobility to make these cities more able to support these needs of development of citizens.
Thanks a lot, Ángel. Inese, your turn.
I think very important for a city is to understand and what are our real challenges, and then work together with technology companies, universities, researchers, and citizens on these challenges. And here city is really can show the leadership in working towards a more climate friendly city.
Thanks. And Mariusz.
Yeah, this is a good question and not easy answer. First of all, I would like to say that if you really want to build a competitive ecosystem for the city mobility, you need to engage everybody from the city, every stakeholder that you have on your platform, on the city platform. I mean the city mayor, city officials, but also representatives of the business, representatives of the research and academic institutions, startups, everybody that would like to be in this process. But it's not an easy task. From our perspective, to build such competitive ecosystem to enable innovations, you need at least 7-8 years. So you have to be ready for a challenge that will not last only 1 or 2 years, but it is a challenge that will last at least 10-15 years. So this is my first message. And the second message, you really need to build a trust in your mobility ecosystem. You need to build a regulatory framework. You need to cooperate with the national government to solve all these, let's say, legal problems. You need to cooperate with the universities. You need to build this from the scratch, but then you will have the success.
And of course, last but not least, Lisa, please.
Well, in Stockholm, we have initiated an electrification pact where we want to work together with business to find solutions on how to get the electrification accelerate in the city. So to find out how we can solve the charging stations, but also to find ways to get electrification in different mobility solutions as mobility stations. We also have a climate pact where we're working together with business to find different ways of transportation of deliveries. So for instance, to have a joint delivery system, and also those needs to be electrified, of course. We're also working with different geographical areas where we want to work with both business and citizens to find ways how they can change their behavior. What are the needs in these different geographical areas. They will work like kind of transition, climate transition arenas where we work together and find solutions together.
Thanks a lot to all for sharing these insights. You can see that there is a lot in the pipeline, but there is still more to come. So this is where the second question comes. Second question, 90 seconds. Remember again, how is your city moving from vision to action, sharing bold targets for a more sustainable future of urban mobility and setting out the common objectives for achieving a net zero EU by 2050? Ángel, your turn.
Well, it's a high responsibility to develop plans, but it's a higher responsibility to develop real plans. Several times we have developed plans impossible to develop, but the question is how to implement plans, how to implement strategies, policies and strategies with the involvement and the engagement of citizens. We consider that the involvement of citizens is crucial to achieve these goals of the net zero in cities, mainly in the mobility and transport issues. The decarbonization plans, also the strategy of electrifying mobility is a good plan for Barcelona. We are implementing from the 2008 and we are achieving important success in many of these plans.
Thanks a lot. Inese?
Yes, I think the targets are set up there. They are very ambitious. Also, Riga is a part of the climate mission to achieve it by 2030. So we are even having in higher ambition to reach the goals. And we believe it is a cooperation between all stakeholders. So we need to get on board organizations, technology companies, all universities, enterprises, and most important, citizens to understand why we are doing it. And when we all are working in a partnership, I think then the common goal can be achieved. And citizen engagement and information, I think, is a very critical, crucial part of this.
Mariusz, up to you.
City of Lublin is doing different kind of investment actions since 2014-15. In 2014, we introduced the city bike system. That was the first step to build the routes for the mobility mix strategy in our city. Then we started to implement these solutions to our public transport, and we decided to switch to the system of electric and new zero-emission buses. Then we bought several new equipments, new buses, and our fleet start to be more zero-emission. Today, if we compare it to other cities in Poland and Europe, practically 40% of our public transport is zero emission. So this is a really high and good result. But there are still challenges. The crucial challenge is, shall we go towards only electric buses, but also shall we try and experiment with hydrogen buses, and maybe also we should leave some buses with the traditional fuel systems like diesel, because the mobility mix is a mix. We have to stand on few legs, and the latest situation related to the increase of the energy prices showed us that standing only on the one leg, only on the electric buses, is not a good way, and we have to diversify our strategy.
And Lisa?
Yes, Stockholm is one of the 100 climate neutral cities by 2030, and our new political lead has already decided that we should be climate positive by 2030, and that we should also reduce our car traffic by 30%. So we really have bold politicians and high ambitions in the goals. And we have already worked quite a lot with different measures. We have 80% that are already traveling by public transport or biking. So it's only 20% in the commuting that are using car for transportation. But we need to reduce that even more, but we also need to look at how we are traveling on our leisure time. So to do this, this is also, the electrification is of course one of the parts that we need to work with, but we also need to work with these geographical areas where we are going to work together with the citizens. What we already have is that we have done congestion charges that are very efficient, that lowered the traffic with 25% for maybe, I think, 10 or 15 years ago. We are working with the biking lanes, so to enable for the citizens to bike, but also the walking network is important to work with.
Well, it's actually a pleasure to see how many different cities from very different parts of Europe are working together, trying to make cities more livable from different perspectives, bringing together different cultures and making our cities more livable. So thanks a lot for that. And Ángel, Lopez and Inese, Enarsson and Mariusz Sagan and Lisa Enarsson, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you to you.
And you stay tuned as usual. If you want to learn more about what EA2 Urban Mobility is doing and how we are bringing all these actors together to make our cities and our streets safer and more livable, stay tuned.